Mr. Donalds for his 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Witnesses, thanks for coming in. Ms. Munilla, did I say that right? Okay, got it. True or false, demand for graphite, copper, nickel, lithium, and cobalt will rise substantially over the next 2 decades. And these are key minerals in electric vehicles and battery storage technology.
True.
Okay, according to the Breakthrough Institute, the Biden administration's electrification goals require at least a 62% increase in cobalt and a 590% increase in graphite. There's obviously insufficient production of cobalt and graphite in the United States. In your view, is it reasonable to impose such an onerous and unrealistic federal electrification aspiration when there isn't enough domestic critical mineral supply and rare earth mineral to accomplish the goal? Is that a wise thing to do?
Thank you for that question. This is a very important tension. I think the market has moved. The demand for these materials, not just for graphite and cobalt, but for other materials, is coming to us from the broader market and from industrialization, certainly for clean energy technologies and their deployment, but also for broader industrialization purposes. So I would say that this is something that's needed. The market is moving very quickly, and we're trying to respond, and we're trying to also be competitive in that market. We don't want to leave a vacuum for others to sideline U.S. competitiveness, U.S. jobs, and certainly U.S. industry from getting a piece of that market. So the domestic investments are really critical to have us be competitive moving forward.
In your opinion, what would be the best path forward for domestic mining capacity, mining operations to meet the capacity needs? What would be the policy recommendation from the Department of Energy to make that a reality? Because one thing we find all the time in Congress, especially in these hearings, is that everybody wants to do things. Everybody's willing to invest, quote unquote, in things, but there is no practical regulatory framework to accomplish the mission, except for using massive amounts of subsidization out of the federal treasury. So what will be the path of least resistance and the most effective path to develop these critical minerals here in the United States?
The Energy Act of 2020 gave the department the mandate to begin to diversify those supplies, to invest in a domestic manufacturing technology innovation baseline. It gave us the direction to move forward very quickly to invest.
So I'm gonna hold you right there because
Yes.
the word invest came out 3 times. And one of the issues we do have is a regulatory burden that stops the ability for companies to mine for these critical minerals in the United States. Do we need a regulatory overhaul to help accomplish the critical minerals needs for the electrification desires or dreams, I would say, of the President of the United States?
The President of the United States and the Congress have given us significant amount of resources to move forward within the BIL, the IRA, and those regulations to implement those, and the funding is moving forward. There's
Give me one example. Give me an example of one.
The 30D tax credit is moving forward. The Treasury Department is moving forward with implementing the guidance and executing on that guidance. There is movement on the 48C tax credit, and we certainly have a lot of regulatory guidance that's been issued to the market. We see forthcoming guidance coming on a range of issues, including the hydrogen tax credit, et cetera. So
you've mentioned now 3 tax credits. These are all funding apparatuses. These are funding mechanisms.
Yes.
But we've not touched on anything with respect to regulatory burdens. Is the EPA going to play ball and allow us to actually do the work that needs to be done in the United States to accomplish these goals? Is the Bureau of Land Management, Dr. Filgus, is BLM going to allow us the ability to have the flexibility to do the mining necessary to accomplish these critical goals? That's a regulatory situation. That is not a funding situation. What's the answer to that?
Yes. In our mining report, we have 65 recommendations on legislation, regulatory, and policy efforts that can move mining in the United States forward.
Ms. Munilla, you concur with that?
we would concur. We've been working in the interagency on this report. Also we are absolutely supportive of streamlining the permitting process, and certainly we are.
Oh, that's music to my ears. Streamlining permitting processes so we can actually get the critical minerals that our nation sorely needs. Because I will add, and I'll yield back, Chairman, the Chinese are not playing the regulatory rubric game that we've done to ourselves here in the United States. They are going to get the minerals, they are going to dominate the globe, and no matter what the energy electrification goals are, we are going to have to pay treasure to our greatest adversary across the globe, and that frankly makes no sense at all. I yield.
Thank you. Chair now recognizes the gentlelady from Missouri, Ms. Bush, for her 5 minutes.
The United States must become